Ladies and gentlemen, William Barr has made a suggestion. His suggestion is to suspend certain parts of the constitutional rights while CV is going on. So, the Justice Department has secretly asked Congress for the ability to detain, arrest people indefinitely, in addition to other powers that one expert called terrifying. And you know who they want to hold indefinitely, right? Take a guess. Take a guess. People ain't fooling no damn body. The Trump Department of Justice has asked Congress to craft legislation allowing Chief Justice to indefinitely hold people without trial and suspend other constitutionally protected rights during CV and other emergencies, according to a report by Politico. While the ask from the Department of Justice will likely not come to fruition with a democratically controlled House of Representatives, they demonstrate how much the White House has a frightening disregard for rights enumerated in the Constitution. The DOJ has requested Congress allow any Chief Justice of a district court to pause court proceedings whenever the district court is fully or partially closed by virtue of any natural disaster, civil disobedience, or other emergency situation, according to a draft language obtained by Politico. This would be applicable to any statutes or rules of procedures otherwise affecting pre-arrest, post-arrest, pre-trial, trial, and post-trial procedures in criminal and juvenile proceedings, and all civil processes and proceedings. They justify this by saying currently judges can pause judicial proceedings in an emergency, but that new legislation would allow them to apply it in a consistent manner. But the Constitution grants citizens habeas corpus, which gives arrestees the right to appear in front of a judge and ask to be released before trial. Enacting legislation like the DOJ wants would essentially suspend habeas corpus indefinitely until the emergency ended. Further, DOJ asks Congress to suspend the statute of limitations on criminal investigations and civil proceedings during the emergency until a year after it ended. So you can be detained indefinitely. You know, and we know who the detained people are in this country. It's not because you're committing crimes. Because when we walked, our ancestors walked off of that plantation, they labeled us criminals from that point on. And they did that just to justify keeping you in a perpetual enslavement through the prison system. So now they want the power to keep you in there indefinitely, even if it's some remedial crime like they do now. You get an astronomical sentence. It would be even worse if William Barr is granted this suspension of the Constitution. You would have no chance of getting out, and they would see to it. I can see through what's going on here. Norman L. Limmer, um, executive director of the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, told Politico the measure was terrifying, saying not only would it be a violation of habeas corpus, but it says affecting pre arrest. So that means you could be arrested and never brought before a judge until they decide the emergency or civil disobedience is over. What if they never say it's over? What if nobody from the DOJ comes forward and say it's over? They are dirty like that. We have seen the dirt for 500 years. So, that being said, they can easily do that. Everything could technically be over, but they never say it just to keep people held up. I find it absolutely terrifying, especially in a time of emergency. We should be very careful about granting new powers to the government. That is something that should not happen in a democracy, he added. The DOJ also asked Congress to amend the federal rules of criminal procedure to have defendants appear at a hearing via video conference instead of in person with the defendant's consent. Although in a draft obtained by Politico, the sections about requiring consent were crossed out. But it's not just Americans' rights the DOJ wants to violate. They also asked Congress to pass a law saying that immigrants who test positive for CV cannot qualify as asylum seekers. Wow. As CV spreads through the country, activists are calling on politicians in office to release prisoners and immigrants held in detention centers, both of which can be a hotbed of virus activity, with so many people in just close quarters and limited or non existent supplies of soap, sanitizer, and protective equipment. Some states have already begun to do so. Now, in New Jersey, they are set to release 1,000 prisoners to keep them from getting it in house, getting CV. So they're letting 1,000 prisoners go. And they're going to keep this up. This is not going to just end there. But with this, the Trump administration is taking steps to hold more people in prison for an undetermined amount of time, showing their priority is not saving lives, but giving themselves more power. Ladies and gentlemen, with the Democrats, I think in this case, they're going to turn down William Barr, but we have to wait and see what happens. The fact that he even proposed such a thing is unbelievable. You got a bunch of power freaks in office, and they're not going to do the right thing. We haven't seen the right thing in 500 years, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, if they're going to detain people for a long period of time, it's going to be us. We're going to be the intended target for it. You can best believe that. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.